Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Brr, it is cold out there. Lots of snow, lots of snow. Also, lots of things to talk about. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Courtesy Call, the podcast where I rant about politics, world affairs, and societal issues. I am your host, Scott Perry. And it is Sunday, January 30th, 2022, and I hope you guys are recovering from that big northeaster that we had yesterday. Compiled about, I would say, it was like 10 to 12 inches of snow, and hope you guys were able to stay safe on the roads, driving a little slower than normal for precautions. Watch out for any ice. I hope you guys took care of your vehicles, first off, before you even took off to get on the road. Brushing off your cars, de-icing it, and make sure it warms up before taking a drive. Man, oh man. It was quite a big one. We're still getting remnants of it still now, but yeah, it's what a storm, huh? What a storm. Some places lost power. Some people were ransacking stores, supermarkets, and other places to gather supplies in case they got snowed in or they lost power and they were going to be, out of certain services. So, I hope those people are okay. I hope everyone's fine. I know for me, my folks, our place was covered in snow, completely covered in snow. Our backyard, front yard, everything is in snow. Didn't lose power though. Did not lose power. Power stayed on. Pretty much the whole thing. We have all the supplies that we need though. Very prepared. We like to stay prepared, as much as possible. So, we're good. We're good. So, northeaster storm, one of the biggest ones, might be the second to last one of the year for large snowstorms. I count like a bunch of regular size storms along the way. But anyway. So this is episode 48. Okay. And this is technically the anniversary of Courtesy Call. By the way, this is the anniversary episode. I won't claim it as such, but it is technically. Nothing special though. Nothing special because in 2 weeks, roughly 2 or 3 weeks, we have the 50th anniversary, the 50th episode. Sorry, episode 50 will be in 2 or 3 weeks, and I would like to do something special for that. So I like to do something special for this one as well. It being technically the anniversary episode, but I like to do something for the 50th episode. So. This is what I'm going to do for this episode. The special thing I'm going to do for this episode is I'm going to shorten it. Okay? This is going to be a heck of a lot shorter than other Courtesy Call episodes have been. I mean, other episodes have been like, hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours. One was almost 2.5 hours. I was like, whoa. But yeah, I'm going to shorten it. It's going to be very short. The other thing I'm going to do for the 50th, I'm going to try to get a special guest, my first special guest, very first special guest of Courtesy Call. I got a couple of people in mind, a couple names in mind, but I'll let you know what my final decision is. Obviously, between now and the 50th episode. So I kind of want to say anniversary. It's not the 50th anniversary. I'm not. I mean, that'd be crazy. I'd be like, it'd be quite some time from now. Quite some time. Very long time from now. So very long time. So I think that 50th episode, is what it is. All right, so with that being said, let's see on the docket today. I'm just going to talk about what our president's been up to. We'll talk about the headlines, and then what our wonderful president has been up to. Of course, the updates on COVID-19 and the vaccinations. A very short headhunt segment. I'm only going to do 2 articles. I'm going to do them very briefly, and 2 brief new societal topics of my choice. So, and I'll be the episode's docket. I'm also going to give out the announce that the announcement I told you about on last episode 47. I think I said it on 46 as well. About the reason why Courtesy Call will be taking a 2-week hiatus in the month of March. So, we are at the very end of January, by the way. Forgot to mention that. It's January 30th. Tomorrow's the 31st. And then Tuesday is February 1st, or people can known as the pre-day to Groundhog's Day. So it's the day before Groundhog's Day. And a lot of people always wonder, will the groundhog see his shadow? Will he see his shadow? We don't know. Will there be an early spring or 6 more weeks of winter? I know, given the record and statistics have shown, history has shown that it's usually 6 more weeks of winter. We know that, right? We know that's coming. Unless like some weird phenomenon's coming on with the meteorological phenomenon. We're not going to get an early spring. No way. We might have like a low-key, not many storms, not many snow kind of winter. But I would say I don't think we're going to get an early spring. I think 6 weeks of winter is your best bet. I think that's what's going to happen. But yes, Groundhog's Day is on Wednesday. So, and yeah, so get ready for that. President's Day will be on the 21st. But then in the beginning of March, Courtesy Call will be taking a 2-week hiatus. And I'll explain the reason for that later in the episode. So, without further ado, let's get into the headlines, shall we? So, of course, latest in the headlines, going to CNN, MSNBC, and other major news sources. They're all covering similar topics. One of the main topics, the big one, of course, was the one I just mentioned, the one I just talked about opening up this episode. And that was the Northeaster from yesterday. Yesterday's Northeaster and snowstorm has been on the headlines. And it says the Northeaster could have been a historic one. And it was. It was one of the biggest we've had in years. So I know I see that on there. Talking about international news, world affairs. We got how Russian invasion of Ukraine would disrupt the world. Let's get into that actually. Let's see that. We got that on our headlines, don't we? So here we go. It says CNN.com, CNNWorld.com, to be more precise. It says the title says how a Russian invasion of Ukraine would reverberate around the world. It says excuse me. It says the prospect of the imminent Russian invasion of Ukraine has heightened, alarm in the region, threatening to plunge the country's 44 million inhabitants further into the grips of conflict. But a move by the Kremlin would also ripple far beyond the two nations' shared border. Experts fear it could usher in a new era of uncertainty in Eastern Europe, disrupt supply chains and the global economy, and forced a shift into geopolitical influence that damages the credibility of the West. These fears could yet be averted. The Ukrainian government is downplaying the imminent risk of a full-scale invasion, even as officials on all sides scramble to find a diplomatic solution of a standoff that Biden administration warns is precariously close to war. So yes, Russia and Ukraine been at each other's throats for years, looking to do something about it, looking to cause a war. However, this war could affect all of us, as we have some supplies we get from Russia, and don't automatically assume it's the Russian lightning, known as vodka. No, we're not talking about alcohol here. It's also other food sources and manufacturing goods, like machinery parts and such. Ukrainian is the same way. So a war, of course, when Russia goes into war with Ukraine, they both go into war. It's going to take up their finances. They're going to start shifting all their GDP to help out their soldiers and obviously all their military, and that is going to cause issues. That's going to make it so that way Russia is unable to help supply the rest of the world or help give out GDP to the rest of the world. Also help other supplies that we need, because they're going to be shortened, And before you know it, the United States is lacking certain material or certain things because, both Russia and Ukraine cannot supply right now because they're in a war. And don't forget, when they're at war, things could get damaged to where they can't manufacture stuff. I mean, that's a possibility. And then before you know it, other nations, including us here in the United States, are shorthanded on some things. Will it be a major impact on us? I don't think so. I don't think we get enough. I don't think the supplies we get from either Russia or Ukraine are large enough to make a huge impact on our country. Or maybe some other countries it might, because they might rely solely on most of their supply may come from either one of those countries. But I know for us, I think it's a very small portion that we get from Russia and Ukraine. So I don't think that would be a big hit on us. We'll take a hit. We might take a small hit, but I don't think it's going to be a major hit at all. To be honest, I don't think that's going to be too much of a big deal. Let's see. Yeah, so that's something to keep an eye on. It's not just like issues here in the country; it's also issues out internationally, throughout the world. World affairs can affect us as well, right? Whether it's a very small way or major way. But I know Russia and Ukraine by each other's throats. I hope they get that resolved. I hope that for the sake of other countries, it doesn't happen. I hope they come to some sort of agreement or settlement. I just think that, an invasion would usually would result into a war. So that's usually what happens. You come and poke into someone's doorway and bust right in. There's a war there. You start a war there. So, let's keep an eye on that, follow up on that, and see if they're able to come with any agreements. So, also here it says, this may be the largest case of sex abuse by a person in the U.S. It says a former NFL player. A former NFL player wants victims' stories, sex abuse victims to, he wants their stories to be heard. So, this makes sense. Very normal. It says here also CNN Sports, CNNSports.com. It says more than 1,000 students were sexually abused at this university. An ex-NFL player wants their stories to be heard. So it's those who've been sexually abused at a certain university. It says, throughout the bitter winter during rain and snow, John Vaughn has alternated between sleeping in a tent or a camper van outside former University of Michigan president Mark Schlessel's house. A former University of Michigan and NFL football player, Vaughn is one more than 1,000 people, mostly men, who says they were abused by athletics doctor Robert Anderson, who worked for the university from 1966 to 2003, treating students across sports including football, track, and wrestling. Anderson, who passed away in 2008, subjected students, 90% of whom were men, to sexually abusive misconduct and invasive exams, including unnecessary genital and rectal examinations, according to a 2021 independent report commissioned by the university. Many of Anderson's victims were black, and survivors say that this has played a part in why the abuse was allowed to continue for decades. It says in his roles at the university, including director of its health services, physician team for the athletic department, and clinical instructor at the university's medical school, Anderson abused men and women from different racial backgrounds, undergraduate and graduate students, student athletes, including two-time Super Bowl champion and former world-class wrestler, and members of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer community, the report found. Very sad, very unfortunate. That's crazy. I commend Mr. Vaughn for going out and becoming an activist of this. I applaud him to go out and seek some sort of justice and make it right and add some sort of closure, whatever kind of closure can be produced at this time. And and to seek to do things right. I support his movement, and very unfortunate. Sad, unfortunate for the students and for the victims of this this heinous acts, of sexual abuse. Should not be tolerated. Should not be should not happen anywhere. Should not. Sex abuse is something to take very seriously, and needs to end. And there's no excuse for it. It's very disgusting. It's sickening, and those who are victims need to be heard. Absolutely need to be heard. So continue your journey there, Mr. Vaughn. I hope you keep pushing and get it done, and and help help those who are victims in the best way you can. All right. So in more positive news, the Olympics are this upcoming week. That's right. The 2022 technically was 2021 Winter Olympics, but because of COVID, it got moved 2022. But the 2022 Winter Olympics will be this week. And as you know, it takes place in Beijing, China. That's right. All the country's top athletes will head to Beijing, China to compete in numerous events to earn medals such as gold, silver, and bronze, to work their way and push their way to becoming the Olympic champions of the world, I should say. For those who know me well, who have listened to previous episodes of Courtesy Call, or just are friends with me on Facebook, or just know me in general, what sport I'm going to pay attention to more than others. That's right. Hockey. Got to do that hockey. That's my sport. Yeah. Pay attention to the Team USA when they compete against other teams, including when they compete against Canada. You got to definitely root for your home team, your country's team. At that point, it's a good rivalry. As you know, of course, I played hockey, spectated it, and studied it. So it is my sport. Cannot wait. Just bummed out that the NHL couldn't hold on, that the NHL had to pull out their players. I mean, if you've seen the lineup, look at the lineup that they posted like a couple of weeks before they pulled them out of what the lineups would have been for Team USA and Team Canada. It was looking pretty good. Looked very good. So I guess now we have to get what we get, right? Because of COVID, right? But the Olympics start this Wednesday, I believe. I don't know if they have any other. I don't know if they have any information further. Do they know exactly what the events are? Let's see. Winter Olympics 2022. Okay, and it's actually it's Thursday. Excuse me, not Wednesday. It's Thursday. Thursday, Friday. I gotta get my dates all mixed up. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Okay, it's Friday. Excuse me. I changed it. This is what it is. Okay, Friday, February 4th. To February 20th, 2022, which is 20th will be a Sunday. Yeah, so Friday, February 4th, this Friday, February 4th to Sunday, February 20th will be the 2022 Winter Olympics from Beijing. And you can look at various events such as skiing, lugeing, skeleton, hockey, of course. Curling, I believe, is one as well. I like the what is that relay? The one where they shoot the guys at biathlon, where they have like the gun and they have to be on skis and they get down, shoot targets, and they go back on skis. Yeah, I think it's biathlon. And then there's others. Is there bobsled? I think that's one of them too, right? Bobsled. I forget what the other ones are. Cross country skiing, maybe. But yeah, so all sorts of events out there. So actually, I got the list right here of some of the events I got. Ski jumping. There we go. Ski jumping, one of them. Short track speed skating, Nordic skiing. That's right. Speed skating is one. Yes, that's right. Figure skating, of course. Come on, figure skating. Freestyle skiing, bobsleigh is one, and the biathlon, of course, and alpine skiing. So those are your main sports there for the Winter Olympics. So should be interesting. So, all right, and the opening ceremony, I believe, is on the 4th. So, all right. Well, so yeah, get ready to watch the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics. All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I will talk about the latest updates on President Biden, and things have gotten a little bit hot with President Biden. He's been under some fire for some things to the far right wing nuts. Also, I'll give you the latest updates on COVID-19, the vaccinations, as well as a short headhunt segment and 2 short new societal topics of my choice. So don't go anywhere. Still more to come here on Courtesy Call.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Does your plug-in fade too fast? Try new Febreze Fade Defy Plug. It has built-in technology to digitally control how much scent is released to smell first day fresh for 50 days. La 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 la.
Subarus are made for winter with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, so you can help your friend when they break down in the middle of nowhere. Kelly Blue Book's most trusted brand. That's a Subaru.
Morning. Can I have a coffee, please?
We can do better than that. How about an acorn spiced latte?
No, thanks.
What about a nitro charcoal brew with dry ice?
Oh, no.
The charcoal purifies the soul.
Just a regular coffee is fine. Thank you.
Okay. Let's talk milks. We got okra milk, we have sloth milk, and then we have fresh unicorn milk. Only $12 extra. Isn't that right, Caliber?
Whoa. I'll just do half and half. And my coffee?
Okay, but first, Fomart.
Oh.
Ta-da!
Okay, you know what? This is ridiculous. I just want a coffee. I'm sorry.
Why does everyone leave us?
This Bud Light Seltzer lemonade is packed with lemonade flavor.
Yeah, it even has more flavor than my grandma's lemonade.
She still lives here, right?
Yeah, it even has more flavor than grandma's lemonade.
Oh, no.
Guess her hearing is better than we thought.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade. Packed with more flavor than grandma's lemonade.
Oh, just one.
Jake from State Farm, it's the least I can do. You really did me a solid with that, Maya markdown on my insurance.
Here's the deal, Maya. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Right.
No, really, there are no markdowns, just great rates.
Pull around back in 20 minutes. I'll hook you up with the good parts.
When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back, everyone, to Courtesy Call Podcast here on IPMNation.com. For those who are just joining us before the break, I kind of went into the storm right off the bat and hoped those who were infected too much. Hope they didn't snowbound anyone or anybody lost power, which I heard there were people that did. There were some towns and counties and areas who did lose power. And I'm pretty sure there's at least some people snowbound, but I hope they got out okay. I hope they're able to have all the supplies that they need, have everything they need, or able to get out of their house, safely, without being bombarded by snow. But there is a lot. We did get a lot. So it was a big storm yesterday, and it's still, some remnants of it is still, hanging out and doing its thing. So, yeah, but this is winter. It's winter in New England. So for you Floridians who transported yourselves up here for the season, hey, welcome to New England. This is us. This is what we got. This is what we deal with every freaking year. Snow, snow, snow. Cold. And then more snow. So yes, I talked about the Northeaster yesterday, and also went into the expectations of the episode. I did announce that it will be a short episode because this is technically the anniversary episode for Courtesy Call. But in 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, will be the 50th episode, which I want to do something special for both. And the special thing I'm doing for this episode is I am decreasing the duration of it. It's going to be a lot quicker than previous episodes. It's not going to be the hour and a half, 2 hours, almost 2.5 hour long episode. It's going to be a little over an hour, probably about an hour. And so that's my special treatment with this episode. And for the 50th episode, I'm going to try to get a special guest, the very first special guest of Courtesy Call. That's right. The very first special guest of Courtesy Call as the special feature for it being the 50th episode. So pretty amazing, huh? I have a couple of names in mind, but I will announce obviously who I decide on, who I choose within the next couple weeks. You'll know between now and episode 50. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. Talked a little bit about what's in the headlines. Talked about the conflict with Russia, as what's on CNN.com. They said Russia and Ukraine are going to invade each other, so and that could potentially affect other countries throughout the globe. And explain why that is, and we got to pay attention to that. I also talked about former NFL player. I think it was John Vaughn. It was John Vaughn. It was John Vaughn. Yep, John Vaughn. And was advocating and becoming an activist for sex abuse victims by the University of Michigan's physician, one of the physicians there who, I guess, inappropriately touched some athletes. And he wants their story. He wants the sex abuse victims. They wants their stories to be heard. So wants their stories to be heard, and I commended him for it, and hope he gets it done and get as many people to share their stories as much as possible, as sex abuse is absolutely not okay whatsoever, will never, ever be okay. Not okay, and the victims deserve to be heard. Absolutely deserve to be heard as some sort of closure. So, and then I talked about the Winter Olympics in better news, or more positive news, light news. Winter Olympics are happening this week, upcoming week. It'll start Friday, and it'll go on until Sunday, February 20th. So it will consist of many events such as curling, ice hockey, bobsleigh, speed skating, figure skating, and it will also consist of other major events such as ski jumping and biathlon. So, then we had a commercial break. But if you guys have anything you would like to, any questions or comments about anything that's discussed on this episode or previous episodes, feel free to reach out on both our Facebook and Twitter, which our Facebook is facebook.com/Courtesy Call Podcast, and our Twitter is @Courtesy Call for you. That's the @ Courtesy Call, the number 4, and uppercase letter U. Let me know what your question is or what your comment is. Post it on our Facebook, and I will gather up those things for next episode, which will be episode 49, and I'll adjust them on there. So, all right. Well, for those who listened to previous episodes before would know what comes next. This is where I plug local businesses who either didn't have an ad available to make it through the rotation during the commercial break, or were suffered from the pandemic. So, so that's what I like to do. So without further ado, here we go. First off, I start with Moe's Italian Sandwiches, making the original since 1959 with locations all over the Granite State, including one in Dover, one in Portsmouth, and one here in Concord, New Hampshire on South Main Street. D Designs, for those looking to get great artwork done for either their website or business logo, feel free to reach out to Danielle Festa-Keefe at dgraphicsnh.com. That's dgraphicsnh.com. Danielle Festa-Keefe is not only a wonderful graphic art designer, but she's also a very talented painter, and she would like you to enjoy her artwork from the comfort of your own home. She understands people still don't feel comfortable going out in public due to the pandemic and don't feel like physically going to art galleries. So she developed a VR gallery for your pleasure at home so you can be safe and enjoy wonderful pieces of artwork. You can go on dgraphicsnh.com, so you can go on their website. You can go on Danielle Festa-Keefe's personal Facebook page and you can look it up for her VR gallery. You can fill out the form. It's a link you click on. You fill it out and you go right to a virtual reality art gallery where you can look at different pieces of artwork that her and her friends have done that she's uploaded into the program. Very cool, huh? Very impressive. Due to the advances of technology. Thanks to the advances of technology, she's able to do that. So you can check out wonderful art and paintings that are done by her and her friends on her VR gallery. So do it up and show your support for local art. And don't forget to hit up Danielle Festa-Keefe at dgraphicsnh.com. Crawl Space Audio. If you're looking to do any audio projects, such as podcasts, or you're a musician looking to record your work, feel free to reach out to Dave Swillem at 603-275-2020. That's 603-275-2020. The Cake Fairy Bakery, located at 110 Old Londonderry Turnpike Road in Hooksett, New Hampshire. They serve wonderful baked goods such as pies, cakes, cannolis, dessert logs, and other baked novelties. But what their best item, in my opinion, is their eclairs. They make wonderful eclairs. If you like eclairs, you'll love this place. If you think eclairs are just mediocre and kind of they're okay, this place will definitely change your mind and make you a big fan. They make it very fresh. All their eclairs very fresh. Nice, soft, good size kind of eclair shell with the custard. It's just done just right. Nice buttery, a little bit of sweet, nice and balanced. Exactly what you would want from the custard of a eclair custard. And on top it has a nice fudge decadent ganache on top. Oh, made just right, made from scratch. Done wonderful, nice fudge chocolatey flavor. Just all around wonderful, amazing eclairs. Again, that is the Cake Fairy Bakery, located at 110 Old Londonderry Turnpike Road in Hooksett, New Hampshire. And speaking of bakeries, we have Clem's Bakery, located at 29 Indian Rock Road in Windham, New Hampshire. They also serve wonderful baked goods such as pies, cakes, cannolis, dessert logs, and I believe they have their own thing of eclairs. They have all sorts of baked novelties that they serve. But what their best line of baked goods are, in my opinion, is their donuts. Their donuts are amazing, and people who have gone there know it very well. Their donuts are one of the best in the state, if not the Northeast. They bake them nice and fresh every day. And they have all the traditional flavors and kinds you would want, anywhere from old-fashioned to honey glazed, to chocolate frosted, strawberry frosted, jelly filled, and the wonderful, amazing, infamous Boston cream. But their best kind of donuts, in my opinion, are their vanilla cream and their chocolate cream. That's right. Their vanilla cream and chocolate cream are the best. They have a wonderful baked soft yeast shell, exactly what you would want from a filled donut. They cut it in half and they put their homemade buttery, sweet, made just right vanilla cream, and then another set with their chocolate cream, which is made to perfection, in my opinion. Made to perfection. So check them out. That is Clem's Bakery. That is KLEMMS Bakery, located at 29 Indian Rock Road in Windham, New Hampshire. So there you have it. There are the local businesses. Give these businesses some business and help them during these difficult times as they're being affected by the pandemic and so forth and what have you. So show your support. Show your support. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about our wonderful president, right? Our wonderful President Biden, who is helping with climate change, helping this planet become healthier, who is helping for equality, who is fighting for equality, and has also been, so far, most of his presidency has been trying to get this pandemic under control, this virus under control, and to help with vaccine rollouts and other methods to get that goal accomplished. Has been doing wonderful things, amazing things, and he is now being put under some scrutiny, actually taking a lot of heat and a lot of fire from the media, and mostly, I should say, when I say media, I mean the far right wing nuts. As he recently, he has recently been looking at a new nomination for Supreme Court to fill in for Justice Stephen Breyer. So, for those who may not know about Stephen Breyer, don't really look into the Supreme Court in general. So, Stephen Breyer was Associate Justice of the Supreme Court and was looking for a nominee to replace Justice Breyer. And he's been under fire because apparently during the Biden presidency campaign, during the Biden campaign, President Biden announced that if he finds a replacement or nominations for Supreme Court, that he would only choose those of color, which some can deem as racist. Deem as racist and deem as inappropriate in general, as you want to be equal to all races. You want all races to have an opportunity. It says on here, according to thehill.com, it says confirmation bias, the title says. The fighting has already begun, and Biden hasn't even named a nominee. All right, and it says here the late Senator Ted Kennedy, who was a Democrat, of course. He was a Democrat. Once said that Supreme Court nominations are on occasion to pause and reflect on the values that make our nation strong. As a new confirmation process is about to begin, Kennedy's words could guide us if only we could agree on what those values are. Confirmations often are a reflection of our political divisions and even our rage. Even with that history, the confirmation fight over replacing Justice Stephen Breyer sets a new and ominous record. The controversy began before Breyer announced his resignation. Sorry, it wasn't late Stephen Breyer. It was not the late justice. He's the former. He's currently the justice and looking to replace him because he has resigned. That's right. He looked like he was going to resign. Before anyone was nominated by President Biden, we seem to have reached the ultimate political stage of development of no longer even needing a nominee for our confirmation fights. Now, I want to pick apart the title here. The title says confirmation bias. Now, I've studied confirmation bias, and I assume there's many meanings of it. Okay, because I've seen it be used in many different situations and occasions. But my view on what confirmation bias is someone who kind of eliminates all the possibilities. They see like one thing that supports what they feel is the right answer, and that's what they go with. For instance, if you know, like say you have a microwave. All right, and your microwave doesn't work, okay? And let's say the answer is a blown fuse, but people don't know that yet. They go to plug in the microwave and it doesn't work. They see there's a little slit in the cord, like a little chew mark from like, I don't know, an animal or something. And they automatically assume it doesn't work because it got chewed through. Without looking into the situation of what, actually caused the microwave to be damaged, they assume that it was damaged because of the cord, when in reality, it could be the plug itself, And they won't know that until they go to plug something else in the outlet. But they don't test that theory. They just see a slit in the cord and think, oh yeah, it's a chew mark. It's automatically a chew mark, and it's automatically an animal that ruined it. This is what damaged a microwave. Without even looking at others, what it possibly also could be. So yes, that to me is what confirmation bias is. It's not being biased to confirm something. It's in a way it is, but it's nothing to do with. I don't think what they're using it as in this body of writing. So. So it says it says the pledge not considered people based on their race and gender raised immediate concern. So President Biden said in his campaign that he was if he was elected as president, that for to select anyone to become Supreme Court, you would select only those of color. I don't know if that's 100% true or is that's 100% of what he meant. But it's but that's pretty much the deal. Okay, I mean, like the deal is what they're saying is that he went he was completely racist or biased, didn't really consider those of Caucasian or other ethnicity. He just only included those who were of color, is what he was going to take consideration. So he hasn't even named a nominee quite yet, I don't think. It's just people are going through speculations. That's all it is. They're just speculating. They're just going through speculations. That's it. So people need to pipe down. The right-wing nuts need to relax. They need to stop making things like more than what they are. And they need to just let President Biden do his thing. I don't think he's racist. I know for a fact he's not racist. His running mate is of color. He even stated he was going to give privilege to those of color. On his agenda is to make everything equal, with equal rights. You know, to promote equality. That's what's on his agenda, right? And I don't think he's racist against his own color. I mean, he's got people of all sorts of color: Caucasian, Hispanic, Latino, African American, Asian American, all sorts of ethnicities and cultures are in the Biden administration. So I doubt it. I find it hard to say the point that he's racist. I think this might be a retaliation or some guilt because the right wing nuts, the former guy, their leader, their ultimate person that they go to and such, he was actually put in the hot seat for becoming racist, and they know that he's an actual racist. They know the former guy's a racist. So they feel guilty, so they want to even up the field and try to make Biden out to be a racist. He's no way. Yeah, I mean, good luck. That's going to be like, it's like plucking, needles of grass throughout the field and trying to be, you're going to be wasting your time, is what I'm saying. Absolutely not racist whatsoever. And if he chooses a person of color to fill in the seat, that's his responsibility. I mean, and that's his choice. That's his choice. The president can elect and nominate whoever he or she feels is fit. Okay? The president can elect whoever he or she feels would fit the role well. Plain and simple. Not a racist. All right, well, let's get into the latest updates on COVID-19 and the vaccinations, shall we? So as many of you probably listened to many episodes, I've listened to many episodes of Courtesy Call, know that I usually give out the cases first and then the vaccinations. These numbers were pulled from yesterday, which was Saturday, January 29th, 2022. And the numbers are as follows. All right, here in the United States, here in the U.S., we have a total of 73,961,907 total cases here in the U.S. With out of that number, sadly and very unfortunate, we have a total of 881,584 total deaths. Very sad and very, very unfortunate. Around the globe, worldwide, we have a total of 369,955,000 862 total cases around the world, around the globe, with sadly and very unfortunate 5,650,738 total deaths around the world. It's very sad, very, very unfortunate. Here in the great state of New Hampshire, we have a total of 272,492 total cases. Here in the state of New Hampshire, out of that number is very sad, very unfortunate, total of 2,205 total deaths here in the state of New Hampshire. Very sad and very, very unfortunate. The numbers have gone up, and that's because people are mingling, as the CDC has made it clear months and months ago, almost a year ago, that if you are fully vaccinated, you are able to participate in social events. It should be safe to participate in social events and social gatherings. And people have been doing so because they've been held from that for almost a year. So they pushed and pushed and pushed to have as much fun as possible. And that's exactly what they're doing. So they're doing that and doing so. And by doing that, yes, you're going to pass on the virus most likely, as the vaccines do not cure COVID. They don't cure it. They just suppress the symptoms. They make it so you will suffer low to moderate symptoms at the very, very most if you're fully vaccinated. So yeah, the virus is going to be passed around. Everybody's going to get COVID. I had to put it straightforward and straight and bluntly to you, but everybody's going to get COVID. Everybody's going to get the virus, going to get COVID, and you just need to be fully vaccinated. Make sure you get fully vaccinated, and get yourself protected. Make sure you are protected. So do it up. So speaking of the vaccines, let me give you guys the latest numbers on the number of vaccinations throughout the U.S., the globe, worldwide, and here in the state of New Hampshire. As the vaccinations is the number you should be paying attention to more, not the cases. Cases are going to go up. It's about getting yourselves fully vaccinated, and those are the numbers that really matter at that point. At this point, and that's the only thing that matters is the number of people who are fully vaccinated. So without further ado, here are the latest numbers of number of doses that have been administered. And out of that number, how many people are fully vaccinated? Are considered fully vaccinated. So, all right, so here we go. So around the globe, worldwide, we have a total of 10,35,576,868 total doses have been administered around the globe, around the world. With that number, we have 4,054,528,562 people are fully vaccinated. Out of that number, it's 52.1% of the world is fully vaccinated. 52.1. Sorry, I normally give you the United States first. I don't know why I read off the globe first. Makes no sense. Usually I do the globe second. Should have done the United States first and the globe second. But anyway, yes. But yeah, those are the numbers. But anyway, United States, throughout the U.S., we have a total of 537,238,853 total doses have been administered throughout the United States. And out of that number, we have a total of 210,576,129 people here in the U.S. are considered fully vaccinated. And that brings the percentage to a wonderful 63.9%. 63.9%. That's a 2% jump. A little over 2% jump from last time. And it is almost at herd immunity. It's like 1.1% until herd immunity. So get it done. Get yourselves fully vaccinated, people. Here in the Granite State, New Hampshire, we have a total of 2,552,720 doses have been administered throughout the Granite State. Out of that number, we have a total of 934,043 people who are considered fully vaccinated here in the Granite State of New Hampshire, which brings that percentage to 68.7%. 68.7, which is almost at 70, which is amazing. We're right at that number, right at that percentage where we want it. That was considered herd immunity. back last summer when we were talking about that herd immunity we're trying to reach, from since last July. It was July was the mark to reach herd immunity. The Biden administration wanted to make that as their goal for reaching herd immunity, and there you go. We're almost there. You talk about 8 to 9 months later. We're 8 months later. You're talking about we're almost there. We're pretty much there. So, as for the U.S. and the state of New Hampshire, we're pretty much that herd immunity percentage in numbers. Which the rest of the world needs to catch up a bit at 52.1, but I still increased by a little over 1%. A little over 1% increase throughout the globe for total people fully vaccinated. So keep it going. Keep getting vaccinated. See, the number of cases of COVID-19, cases of the pandemic are going up. They're going up. But what's also going up is the number of vaccinations at like double, almost triple of the rate that there are cases. The number of vaccinations have gone up dramatically, a lot more than the pandemic. So, and the virus. So it's looking pretty good as long as you get fully vaccinated. They might come up with another variation of the vaccine to get your immune system to be stronger and to be able to promote defense against other variants that may come about. Even though there's speculations that Omicron may be the last variant, considering it's the weakest, there is no signs of that being so. There is a slight chance that it's not 100% that is the deal. That is the case. That's what it is. That the Omicron variant is signs that the pandemic is over, going to be over. There could be one more big variant that could stir up, or two more, that could stir up within the next year or so. So, still be safe, protect yourself, get vaccinated, please. So, anyways, for all things. So, all right. So now let's go into the headhunt segment. For those who don't know what the headhunt segment is, this is the part in the episode where I go on social media outlets such as Facebook and Twitter, mainly Facebook. I go on major news networks' Facebook pages such as CNN, who I trust the most because I feel like they don't bend the news at all, really. Also MSNBC and WMUR News 9 TV's Facebook page. I go all three and I look for articles that have some controversial issues posted and find questions or comments that people have commented underneath that either lack substance to it, or I'll shed some light on, add my 2 cents worth, or a question that I feel like hadn't been fully answered or answered at all, that I'll add my 2 cents worth and answer it to the best of my ability, to the most accurate, ability. So, I mean, that's essentially what the headhunt segment is. So, without further ado, let's go headhunting, right? As they say. So I'm on CNN's Facebook page. So here's a good one. Okay. On CNN.com here, it was posted, I believe, yesterday morning, late morning. And it says, after a 6-month undercover investigation, authorities in Florida have charged 68 people in the connection with the sale of illegal narcotics on the mobile dating apps Grindr, Scruff, and Tame, I'm not sure. The title says, Florida officials say dealers used dating apps to sell marijuana, meth, and other drugs. Dozens charged in. And so this is an article about people using apps to sell drugs. I assume that's a deal. I've gone on some apps before and seen people selling drugs on there or other things. And things that weren't quite illegal. Weren't quite legal on there. I've seen that kind of stuff happen on apps, dating apps. And but on the Grindr, Scruff, and Tell Me, that's interesting. People finding other ways to sell their dope, their illegal substances. And there's a comment underneath by a woman by the name of Sarah who says, I'm so over the war on drugs. Okay. So, hold on. Are you the right or are you the left on this one? I'm confused by that comment. I'm so over the war on drugs, she says. Are you left or the right on this? Because so I say, okay, the left because I see a lot of drug abuse from people who do represent the left a lot too, with other substances because they're depressed and deal with personality disorders and such. And it's just like the left also is not focusing. Excuse me, pardon me, a little bit here, but the left is not focusing on the war on drugs as much as they should. Okay, and I know that the far right has been advocating for us to focus on drugs and to crack down on illegal drugs, which I agree with, but I don't know if the right wing, the wingnuts are looking to do that because, or the right is looking to do it because they want to focus the attention on something else other than them, being prosecuted for wrongdoings, or they, actually want to focus on the war on drugs. But it seems like the left tries to steer away from this as well. So yeah, I'm kind of confused by that, but I can tell you right now, in general, as neutral, as someone who's a centrist, and independent like myself, I will say the war on drugs is a very serious thing. It's something to take very seriously. Drugs is very bad. Very bad for this nation. It's actually, I've said it in many episodes, including the debut episode, where I pretty much put my foot down on what I believe the three main things that are causing the world's issues and societal issues. It says drugs, piss poor parenting, and technology. Those are the three things. And drugs is, the main powerhouse for, the one to blame and result for the reason why society is the way it is today. The reason why society is so messed up today is because of that. Because people are using narcotics that screw up their brain waves and imbalance them chemically to the point where they start developing mental health issues and they start believing things that just make no sense. They start adding delusions. They think that this is where conspiracy theories come about. Is I think a lot of these people were using drugs. Okay. I mean, what other explanation do you have other than severe mental illness that could be caused from drugs or whatever incidences happened to them that caused severe mental illness? But I know that the whole people in Dallas waiting for JFK and JFK Jr. to come back and there's Trump coming, or people showing up at a Rolling Stones concert thinking that former presidents are going to show up out of nowhere and arrive at a Rolling Stones concert and wait in downtown Dallas for that. I think those people are, they're drug abusers. Drug abusers. What other explanation do you have of it? Plus, drugs cause people to be less motivated, way too overly motivated to the point where they cause a lot of issues, but in most cases, mostly unmotivated to the point where they don't get important things done or things done that they should be getting done or making, being productive, I should say. And drugs are the main engine for this. Drugs are so bad. They're so bad. Some of these people that just waste themselves away, and their personalities and their self-worth and their self-value all goes down the drain with drugs. So there needs to be a war on drugs. The war on drugs needs to increase. As a matter of fact, if anything, it needs to increase and needs to be tightened up a bit. They need to crack down people on the war on drugs. It's what tearing this country apart. So, Sarah, I'm not sure what you mean by your comment, but if it's to say you want to end the war on drugs because you like to use drugs, well, maybe you should not use drugs. Maybe you should sober up and do things the right, correct, and healthy way. You might be on drugs to make that statement, I would say. But if you don't use drugs, I apologize, but I'm just saying for those who do, they need to sober up and start doing things the right way and not the harmful way. So, anyway, so that's that. Now moving on to, let's see, MSNBC's Facebook page. So, let's see. What else we got here? Okay, so this one is interesting. It's on MSNBC's Facebook page, like I said earlier, and it says Stephanie Rule has Omicron variant reached its peak. Dr. Fauci says it certainly reached its peak in certain regions of the country. So, this is an interview with Dr. Fauci, the recent updates on the pandemic and what's going on, and his take and his answers with his data. And what he has to say about it and whatnot. And the title says, it just says live on MSNBC with Dr. Anthony Fauci. And a man by the name of Tim says, in case you forgot, 3 years ago today, we were experiencing the greatest economy in the history of the world. Okay. And I guess you're talking about the former guy. Had something to do with it, and he's the reason why it was such a great economy, that the former guy made the economy the best it has been ever. Well, okay, so things were healthy back then, but there also was no virus, or there was a virus towards the end of his presidency, as the pandemic came about towards the tail end of it. I mean, it was towards the last, the last year of it, I believe, right? And the thing is, though, is that the former guy didn't do anything. I mean, sure, things could look healthy if you do nothing about anything. You don't take any responsibility. If someone cuts themselves up like a bunch of times, you still can have a lot of Band-Aids left if you just don't use them, right? If you don't use your Band-Aids, or if you never buy groceries, you still have money in your pocket. You might go hungry, but you still have money in your pocket. You know? Let's see, what else other variations could I make to defend, or not defend, but to attack this stupid comment? Oh, yeah. If you don't fix your house or do any maintenance or put any gas in your car, you have a lot more money. Things look a lot better. You know, your pockets are full. The pockets were full way back when you were neglecting responsibility because you weren't paying any of these things towards taking responsibility. So of course it's going to be much healthier. Oh, you freaking right-wing morons. Sorry, but that's Tim, that's an asinine comment. Okay, that's an asinine comment. I usually don't like to tear people apart like this degree, but you know, you're going to defend the former guy for the economy being healthy 3 years ago today. You know, just a reminder, 3 years ago today, we were experiencing the greatest economy in history of the world. Yeah, okay, you're trying to defend the former guy. Former guy also didn't take much responsibility for anything. He neglected the whole thing, which had severe consequences, some major consequences from it. So, and now we're taking responsibility for it. Of course, we're going to be, you know, gas prices are going to go up and everything else is going to go up because we're spending our money on things that need to be spent on. Okay? And we had to shut down, do the necessary thing to make sure people were safe. Tim, to actually take responsibility, to teach you something about, you know, being an adult or taking responsibility. When you take responsibility for something, you know, sometimes it's not the most subtle, but it's the best. It's to provide the best outcome. You know, you can't just sweep the crumbs underneath the rug. You can't just put the newspapers over the spilt milk. You know, you can't just shut the messy closet. You have to clean. You have to take care of it the healthy way, the better way, or else things are going to get worse, much worse. And they did. So you can defend the former guy all you want. The economy may look good to you by the gas prices and on paper, but really it was going down the chute because of him, because of the former guy. And you could thank your right-wing nuts for going on strike, protesting the vaccine mandates. and getting themselves vaccinated and doing the right thing, for going on strike with their jobs and creating distribution to be worse, and the flow of the economy to have a little bit of an issue. You can thank them. You can thank your fellow right wing nuts apparently for this. So, but hey, thanks for posting on MSNBC BC's Facebook page. I'm sure they like stupid asinine comments being posted on their Facebook feed. So, all right. So last but not least, let's go on to WMUR News 9 TV's Facebook page. For those who are not familiar, do not know who WMUR News 9 is. For those who live here in the Granite State in New Hampshire, it's our local news source that we get our local news and some of our national news from. And I'm on their Facebook page, and it says commerce. It says this is about the chip deficiencies. There's a chip problem. It says U.S. supply of computer chips has fallen to alarmingly low levels, raising the prospect of factory shutdowns. The title says Commerce Department warns that computer chip shortage could shut down factories. And this is unfortunate, and it's due to manufacturing, because we had to shut down factories to keep them safe. We had to kind of take certain precautions to make sure people were safe. And yes, production was on hold for a little bit. That's why there's a shortage. But factories have started back up, which means there won't be a shortage in the next coming few months. Wait until the summer, at least. Wait until the summer. It'll be handled. It'll be taken care of. It will resolve. It will. But we have a man by the name of Larry comment underneath that said, I guess we'll just have to build back better. And that is a mockery from, of course, our wonderful President Biden, and his slogan, him and Vice President Kamala Harris's slogan, build back better. That's what their presidency slogan was, right? And it still is. That's their whole thing, is build back better. And it's a mockery of it, is what Larry's trying to do. Mock it, trying to say that, oh yeah, well, this is Biden's doing pretty much. This is the Biden administration screw up. And again, it's the same thing with the previous one. It has really nothing to do. It has to do with Tim's comment, from the previous one. Tim's comment is, the thing is that you can't blame the Biden administration for this. You really can't. It is the right-wing nuts who are going on strike on their jobs who are causing shortage because they don't like what President Biden is doing. So you can do the same thing with gas too, with oil and fuel. Part of it is the Keystone Pipeline. The deals with that, and the French the agreement with France, and that kind of like promotes going green, because we're damaging our planet by using fossil fuels. So President Biden would like us to go more green and take good care of our planet, as any good president would want, and any leader of any country would want to take care of our planet, right? But you have to do what you got to do to make sure that happens. Now, President Biden, I'm sure, does not want to transition to it like harshly. I know he's been criticized by other performances he's done in the past. Only a couple you could criticize him over, because there's only a couple I can recall that he's done that's been completely wrong. But I would say that he didn't handle as professional as well as he should have. But overall, I think with the going green and helping our planet, I think he's looking to do this smoothly, a lot smoother, and make sure we do this right. And that's going to cause a little fluctuations within fuel. But overall, there's going to be manufacturers of cars, of automobiles, are going to make hybrid cars. There's going to be a lot more manufacturing of hybrid cars, so people can use clean fuel, and use clean energy fuel opposed to fossil fuels or dirty fuels. So, because that's what's causing our planet to shut down. So, that could cause a little bit with the gas prices. But overall, the main hit on it, the main part of it, is the lack of distribution. And a lot of it's coming from workers who are protesting. The workers who are from the far right wing nuts who, are going on strike because they don't want to do the essential things that need to be done to do the right thing. Because they don't, So So that's what it is. The right-wing wingnuts just don't want to do the right thing, and that's causing prices to go down and distribution to be, scarce and prices to go up. Now, for the chips, the shortage on computer chips, that's also because manufacturers, the plants have been shut down and for a while, so that's going to cause a shortage. Also, manufacturers, those who work in the factory workers, they are protesting against the whole movement with Biden because they disagree the way he's handling our country. Excuse me. So that's the reason. That's the main reason. The main ones to blame for all this. So, Larry, yes, you can mock the Build Back Better motto and slogan all you want, but it's really you right-wing nuts who are the ones to blame. It is you guys who are the ones to blame once you do your research. So, all right, well, that wraps up our headhunt segment. If you guys, again, have any questions or comments about anything that's been discussed, this episode or previous episodes, feel free to reach out on both our Facebook and Twitter, which our Facebook is facebook.com/Courtesy Call Podcast, and our Twitter is @Courtesy Call for you. That's the @ Courtesy Call, the number 4, and an uppercase letter U. All right, well, we're going to take another quick commercial break. When we come back, we will talk about, we'll have 2 new societal topics of my choice, very short societal topics of my choice, and I will announce the reason why Courtesy Call will be taking a 2-week hiatus in the beginning of the month of March. So don't go anywhere. Still more to come here on Courtesy Call.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, 3 dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Every morning, I thought I had to make a choice. Do I use a toothpaste that whitens my teeth or one that's good for my teeth? Now I don't have to choose. My dentist told me about Crest Whitening Therapy, so I tried it.
From Crest 3D White comes Whitening Therapy. It's our best whitening technology. Plus, it has a fortifying formula to protect your enamel.
Now I get a whiter smile and healthy teeth all in one.
The 3D White collection from Crest. Healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
Coming in to get a deal that includes existing customers. He's probably 5'8", but we'll give him an even 6'1". It's this guy!
Wait. Did I just hear existing customers can get a deal?
Yep, at AT&T, new and existing customers get our best deal on all smartphones.
That's pretty great. You think I look 6 foot?
I sure do. Kind of.
It's not complicated. Only AT&T gives new and existing customers the same great deals on all smartphones. Get up to $800 off our latest 5G smartphones.
Tasha, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip-hop group tag team to help you plan dessert?
French vanilla, rocky road, chocolate peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop this, scoop this, scoop this, scoop this, scoop shakalaka, 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 shaka, scoop shakalaka, shakalaka, shakalaka.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
Oh my, with Chase Freedom Unlimited, I earn all this cash back? Oh, I gotta tell everyone. Hey Rita, you can earn 3% on dining, including takeout.
Bon appetit.
Hey Kim, you earn 5% on travel purchase through Chase.
Way ahead of you.
Hey Neil, you can earn 3% at drugstores.
Buddy, I'm right here. Why are you yelling?
Because that's what I do. You're always earning with 5% cash back on travel purchased through Chase. 3% at drugstores, 3% on dining, including takeout, and 1.5% on everything else you buy. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Building a better bank starts with looking at something old and saying, really? So Capital One is building something completely new. Capital One Cafes. Inviting places with people here to help you, not sell you. And savings and checking accounts with no fees or minimums, because that's how it should be. You can open one from right here or anywhere in 5 minutes. Seriously, 5 minutes. This is Banking Reimagined. what's in your wallet.
The greatest stories don't have to end.
If we do this, we're gonna do it our own way.
They can expand, evolve, connect each generation to the next. The stories continue. Only on Disney Plus.
Welcome back, everyone, to Courtesy Call Podcast here on IPMNation.com. Before the break, I talked about the scrutiny that our wonderful president is going under right now for, being criticized for a nomination that he, speculation of a nomination that he may put in place of Justice Stephen Breyer, who is has resigned from the Supreme Court, as people are ridiculing our president and kind of verbally attacking our president and accusing him of saying that he's racist or being racist or biased because back when the Biden administration was campaigning, the Biden campaign said that they were going to appoint, or he said he was going to look at primarily those of color to fill in the seat. But I don't think that was actually word for word what our president used. I think like some of his words, like the right wing and the right wing nuts, and a lot of people are doing, is bending and twisting his words. I think they bent and twisted his words to make it seem that way. So, and I kind of talked a little bit about that. I'll give you the latest updates on COVID-19, the vaccinations, and I did a headhunt segment. So, again, if you have any questions or comments about anything that's been discussed on this episode or previous episodes, feel free to reach out on both our Facebook and Twitter, which our Facebook is facebook.com/courtesy call podcast, or our Twitter, which is at courtesy call for you. That's the at symbol, courtesy call, the number 4, and an uppercase letter U. Let me know what you think. Put down your comments or ask your questions. I'll gather them up this upcoming week, and we'll address them on next week's episode, which will be episode 49, which will air next Sunday, February 6th, 2022 at 10 a.m. here on IPMNation.com. So, all right, so here is the news. Here is the reason why Courtesy Call will be on a 2-week hiatus in the month of March. You see, last year, my lady and I booked a 6-day cruise with Carnival Cruise Lines to the Eastern Caribbean. So, and it has been dated for this March, for the beginning of March. So yes, this March, so Saturday, March 5th till Sunday, March 13th, my lady and I will be going to the Caribbean. We'll be going to first Florida. We'll be flying to Fort Lauderdale and then taking a rail into tri-rail into Miami. So staying a day in Miami, and then this will be on March 5th. I'll be flying down, doing that, heading to Miami, staying in Miami for a night or for a day or so, and then the next day, on the 6th, we'll be boarding the Carnival Freedom to take a 6-day cruise to the Eastern Caribbean, which will be in the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Islands, which consist of Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Islands, consist of we got Grand Turk, Princess Cay, Nassau, and Freeport. So we'll be taking a 6-day cruise into the Eastern Caribbean to the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos. hitting up 4 islands and spending another day in Miami. It's a big vacation we'll be doing for 8 to 9 days. And the 8 to 9 days that we're around there, we're going to have a blast. It's something that we really, really need. We've dealt with a lot of stress and a lot of work and a lot of issues and stuff. So we've resolved a lot of it, and we've been working like day to day, hour by hour, minute by minute. So it's accumulating a lot of stress, and I think at this point we need to be able to wind down. Need to be able to escape, to get a vacation. With we have multiple jobs. We work a lot. We have a lot of commitments. I have sports, hockey stuff, but also the bowling team, right? The bowling team, other activities, and of course, this show, this podcast, Courtesy Call, that I do almost every week, and her commitments as well. We're just very, very busy people. We're very busy people. So we feel we deserve to take a break from everything for like at least a couple of weeks, right? And head down to the tropics and take a vacation, go on a nice cruise, and enjoy it and have a lot of fun, take a load off. So for that time being, Courtesy Call will be on a hiatus. You can listen to previous episodes, the episode prior, which by projection, I would say, let's see. This episode 48 and 49 will be on the 6th. The 13th, you got 50th episode will be the 13th. Ooh, that's grimy. That's Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday. Look at that. Imagine that. Super Bowl Sunday. Be a 50th episode of Courtesy Call. Interesting. And then you got the 20th will be the 51st. And then you had the 52nd, which will be on the 27th. So the 52nd episode 52, you can listen to, over and over, and episodes previous from that, over and over, as much as you like, as much as you want. So listen to all that. So in about 5 weeks, I would say 5 weeks, 4.5 to 5 weeks, we'll be heading down and enjoying our vacation. So Courtesy Call, take note for those who are avid listeners. Courtesy Call will be on hiatus as my lady and I will be in the Eastern Caribbean, enjoying ourselves. So okay, there you go. There you have it. All right, so now it is time for the 2 societal topics of my choice. 2 short societal topics of my choice. The first one, here we go. The first one is something I've discussed in previous episodes before. No, it's not traffic violations and piss poor parenting. It's actually another episode. I'm pretty sure a lot of these topics I've talked about before in previous episodes, but this one, I'm sure there's a really good chance that, I'm sure if you skim through previous episodes, you can find this has been discussed before, and I'm going to talk about it again, or talk about it. This is about being fair. I'm pretty sure I have talked about this before. Being fair. So I understand they say, well, sometimes things are not fair, right? Sometimes unfair things happen. Yes, some things. But there's a lot of things out there. First of all, I think that phrase is just, it's somewhat true. There's truth to it, but it's also an excuse. It's also used as a big excuse. Because majority of things out there that happen that are not fair are due to people's lack of effort and lack of caring, and just attempting and trying to do the right thing. A lot of people make poor choices, asinine choices, stupid choices that make things just not fair for other people. Like when you rob from places, when you start committing theft, prices go up because of that. That's a selfish act. That is not fair because someone could. That could be controlled if someone was not to, engage in theft. And also if the company was to amp up their security systems or security methods. People driving recklessly on the road, we'll talk about that. I always do. That's unfair. People get into car accidents, get hit. And things happen like that because people are not mindful on the road. That is unfair, but it can be controlled. Absolutely. Majority of the things can be handled and controlled. All the things out there can be handled and controlled. If you think about it, it can be. But people choose to do the unfair thing. A lot of people are choosing to be selfish. They don't want to be considerate of other people. A lot of people they don't care. And, it's like you have to, because that you're going to be affected in the long run as well. Like you rob from a store, you steal from a store, right? That store has to raise their prices. Then when you finally get enough money to make up, first of all, you're going to get charged once you're found guilty of theft, and you got to pay restitution, and the supplies you have to get are more expensive because of your theft. And you're not allowed in certain supermarkets as well because of your theft. So yeah, that's an unfair thing. When a boss will talk to, will give unfair privilege to some subordinates, but not to some other subordinates, then that becomes unfair, and the communication level gets wrecked. You can't have fair management. I've talked this in previous episodes. I think as of recent, the last couple episodes, I've talked about management and addressed about management. And it's like, if you're not going to communicate effectively, and I'm always big on communication, but if you don't communicate effectively, things are just going to go wrong. And a lot of it's due to unfair behavior. A lot of it's due to being biased or being against one person over the other. That causes issues not just for you, but for other people. And vice versa. You just don't hurt other people. You also hurt yourself in the long run when you're unfair. At the time, you're thinking, I'm going to be unfair and I'm going to get some gain from it. I can't see any other way that this is going to backfire. That's your process at the time. This is not going to backfire. There's no way. Then you commit the act, and then you realize your mind opens up and hits you hard with reality, and be like, listen, dum-dum, yes, it does affect you, and it affects you in the long run. So try to be as fair as possible. I know it's hard. I know a lot of people are on a kick of not doing the right thing and making up excuses and taking the easy way out, which is not the most healthy way out. Sometimes, to get things done the better way, you have to work hard. You have to take the more constructive route out, and you got to push for fairness. You have to push to do it the better way. And fair is always happening, but fair can be stressful to make sure everything's fair, but it's the right thing to do. It's what should be done. Okay? It's what should be done every time. Every time we come to a situation where you're handling an issue and you feel pressure and you feel issues going on, you should always seek the healthy and fair way out. Always the fair way to go. It's better. So anyway, moving on. So that was the first. Now, the second quick societal topic of my choice is about speaking up and handling problems the right way. What I mean by that is a lot of issues will happen and people will feel offended about something and they'll keep quiet. When, later, all that builds up, all that, from things keep happening, because if you don't speak up, people are going to keep doing it because they're not, obviously, maybe they're not realizing that what they're doing is wrong or bothering you or causing stress. By bottling it up, you're causing yourself to get more angry, more stress, to feel more pressure, to get more just frustrated, and before you know it, you're blowing up and you're causing a major scene. And you don't want that to happen. To avoid that, you got to speak up. You can't be afraid of what the result is. You got to speak up. It's the best way. It literally is the most healthiest way. And you're afraid of being judged? Not being judged by doing the right thing, by speaking up? Maybe it's because, if you've had negative reactions in the past, maybe it's the way you're coming across. It could be because that person you're confronting just isn't cooperating, just is a very emotionally charged person and is going to react negatively no matter how you present it. Like, sometimes you have those people, but it also could be the way that you're presenting it to them could be rude or disrespectful. To do a self-examination and evaluation of how you're coming across to people, you can realize that maybe the way your delivery is not appropriate. And if someone was to come at you like that in the same way or same manner, that, you'd be, offended or upset as well. So maybe rather than, just shooting off right with, off the top of your head or just coming at someone with anger and frustration, how about you take a deep breath and try to find the right approach and the right way to come about it? Because it's a lot of it is how you handle it. I was taught at a young age that 10% of it is coming at you, 90% of it is what you give back. And that is the truth. So, yes, be mindful, speak up appropriately, and also handle problems the right way. Try to problem solve correctly. Try to be mindful of the other person. All right. And don't look to, be confrontational. Don't look to start up issues. Just look to, do things the healthy route. And, some people may take it the right way. Some people take it the wrong way, but at least you did your part. And know that you did your part. Come at someone or communicate with someone the way you want to be communicated, okay? Communicate with someone the way you want to be communicated. It brings it all to the golden rule. The golden rule. That is, treat others how you want to be treated. Treat people how you want to be treated. Treat others how you want to be treated. Plain and simple as that. All right. Well, that is the end of the 2 quick societal topics of my choice. And we also have reached the end of the episode. About 20 minutes longer than I wanted to. I apologize. Still a lot to go over and things I wanted to talk about and such. But yes, we have reached the end of the episode. I want to thank IPMNation.com's president and CEO, Matt Connerton, for giving us the spot. And of course, all of you listeners for tuning in. Be sure to tune in to episode 49 next week, where I will talk more about what's in the headlines. Of course, talk about President Biden more. And of course, try to pick apart some of the things about the former guy. As well as more other kind of issues and news and such and stuff out there. Also, more updates on COVID-19, or the newest updates or latest updates on COVID-19 and the vaccinations, as well as a new headhunt segment, and 2 new societal topics of my choice. Again, that's episode 49, which will air next Sunday, which will be February 6th, 2022 at 10 a.m., here on IPMNation.com. Also, don't forget to check out Matt Connerton's Matt Connerton Unleashed, weekdays at 4 p.m. on 95.3 WMNH, on Matt Connerton Unleashed's Facebook Live page, and right here on IPMNation.com. All right, on the behalf of Courtesy Call Podcast, I am your host, Scott Perry. Be kind, be mindful, and do your part. Have a great week. Go Team USA. Bye-bye.